Today we will discuss the implementation of Q. We will go by the algorithm we discussed earlier. Mm. Okay. Mm. I think in the last class you all of you have understood the implementation of stack using array, and I have sent the code what we discussed the class. So you go through the code, and today we will be completing the implementation of Q using array. So you will get this entire week to follow the notes once again. If you have a difficulty to understand, ask me. We will discuss again. Okay, got it? So let me start presenting the code and algorithm. Simultaneously, parallelly, we will be discussing the algorithm once again, and we will show uh, implementation of algorithm using the C language. Okay, let me present now. The screen is visible, the entire screen to you.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
So we discussed it earlier. I'm just going straight to that particular functions, operations, which we will encode in C to implement this. So NQ, DQ, peak, NQ, it adds an item to the queue, DQ removes an item from the queue, and peak always gets the element which is at the front of the queue. Is full checks if the queue is full, and is empty checks if the queue is empty, right? So this is the algorithm. I think with the piece of code I discussed earlier, but today we will be discussing the full code, okay, the entire code, and we will make you understand. We will discuss each and every statement of the program, the code, and we will show how it runs, how it acts. Okay, so let me go directly to the code. So this is a code. See here, like say stack, we have to define an queue. Basically, it's an array, you know. And here the true and false, the two boolean value, you know. I think you have done it. You have heard the term macro. So we have defined the true and false as 1 and 0 respectively with the macro. So this is the convention. Whatever macro we use in our program, we define it first. Macro is nothing. Means where we will be writing these true and false. This is any word. If we want to give an alias, okay, of the same word with some another values or another name, we define in this way. It's a type of macro, okay. And has defined max also, we have defined the maximum size of the queue, means maximum size of the array. Got it? So here our array means queue mainly is int array we have taken of max size, means we have defined, we have declared, and queue. Here we have given the name of the queue is int array because it holds the integer element, right, of this size. So maximum number of elements we can add to the q is 6. And you know that when the queue is initially empty, the front will may have 0 and rear may have -1. Basically, you can also initialize front by -1, but before inserting, you have to adjust the value of the front accordingly. Okay. So whatever you choose, you can choose either 0 or -1. But rear must be -1, because when we want to, when according to the algorithm, when we will keep on inserting the elements of the queue, we will always change the value of rear. And when we will be removing the elements from the queue, we will change the value of front only. Okay. So this way we will proceed. And here there is another variable, item count. Item count keeps track number of items present in the queue. Always, if we want to check at any point of time what is the number of items present in the queue at that moment, we can get the result from this. So these, initially we have initialized the 0 here, this variable. So this variable keeps track of the number of items present in the queue. And we know that is empty, like in case of push is empty or is full, it will return a boolean value. You know boolean value means true and false, right? So this true and false, we will adjust the as per logic when we will write the function of these, right? So here see, these are the function, is empty a function. So whatever, it's another important thing is, that whenever we make any function, we create any user defined function, there's a general convention that we have to uh, declare the signature or prototype of the function at the bottom, at the top, before main. Whatever function we will be creating for our program, we have to write the prototype, means that header, right? Header contains, you know that a function mainly contains 3 items. One is the type it returns. It may return any value, or it may, if it doesn't return any value, we will simply write void, means it's returning nothing, only the control is getting returned, so we will write void. And according to the type of the value, whether it is integer or float or char, we will write char in float, right? So this number one is number one, first item is the return type of the function. Second is function name, and third is list of arguments we will pass for the function and its data type. But in prototype, we will not the name of the arguments. We will just write the list of the argument types, not the argument name. So these are called the signature or prototype of function. Whatever function we create, we call it user defined function. These are not the system functions. So, you know, system functions are what? Like say what? The functions which reside in the header file and library file, right? stdi.h, stdlib.h. So each and every header file is associated with a library file. You know that there is a library file stdio.lib, stdh, std lib, math.h, math.lib. So each and every file has header file has its own library file which contains the entire definition. So these are called system functions. Scanf, printf, whatever you are using, like getf, putf. So you don't need to define explicitly. No, so this is not our function. This is not user defined function. These are called the system functions. But apart from that, whatever function we will be creating by ourselves, we have to define, we have to create. So when we will be going to create a function, we have to make the compiler know that this is the function, this is the nature of the function, this is the signature of the function before main. Okay, so this is what we have done here. See, these are the prototype. is empty the function, so we have written the code. If simply this signature, simply not the entire function. We will define the function later after main, right? Peak is another function. So int peak void means peak is not passing any value. Is full is not passing any value to void, but it returns either true or false. That's why the type is boolean, right? In short, according to the convention of C, we write bool, B double O, right? Okay. Mm. Okay, fine. Now, size means size of the uh, array, size of the queue. It returns a number, but we don't say anything while calling the function. Insert, insert always, you know, you are going to each and every time we call the insert function, we will be adding one element, right? And for each time of calling, we will be adding one element, right? So if we want to insert six number of elements, we have to call six times this insert function, right? In remove data means we have to, if you want to remove or delete the data, we have to remove the data from the queue. So this is another function. So these are all the prototype definition, prototype declaration rather, right? Prototype or signature. This is very important. Now starting with the main, we have already declared this queue. We have taken the number of elements as max, which is specified by 6 in our macro definition, right? Now here we have called this number of insert function. I told you, I repeat that what I told you in case of stack also. You can also take a loop, for loop or while loop, and you can take these values interactively from the user. But to make you understand what are the values we are inserting step by step, I want to make you understand. That's why I have specified these values, and I have called this number of times this insert function. Got it? Okay. Is before it means apart from writing this 1 2 3 4 5 number of statements, you can put this one statement in a loop which will iterate 5 times. Got it? Hello, all of you understanding now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
See, whatever we are doing, we have written its status of the queue in a command line to make you understand. Okay, this you know it will not run because it has been deactivated. It has it's been a comment, right? So the comment convention, this double slash, I told you, this is the way to write comment. We have put it under comment to make you explain, to make you understand. So here first time front is 0, right? Here after inserting this number of elements, what is the status? You know that 0 1 2 3 4 5 number of elements in the queue. So the value of the front and rear always holds the index of the front position and the last position. Here you know array index starts from 0, so front will have the value 0. This will be 0 front, right? Okay, and rear will have 0 1 2 3 4. Rear is 4. So index in with this index 0 1 2 3 4, you can consider this as a room number of the array. Room number, not the content, not the content of the room, not the content of that position. This is the positional value. Got it? So in the position
Yes, sir.
we have inserted 3, inserted 3. In the position 1, we have inserted 5. In the position 2, we have inserted 9. In the position 3, we have inserted 1. In the position 4, we have inserted 12. Okay. So this is our status. Now let me explain our insert function, right? So the moment compiler will execute, control will execute this statement, it will go directly to that function. Okay, so we have to where after main, after we completed the main is completed here. Main is completed here. This is the end of main. This is end of name. Right. Now the number of functions, the functions which we have taken, we have to define. Means we have to define the body of the function. So it will go directly to the insert function. Insert function. This function. And these are the supporting function for the insert function. You know that to insert. See here. First we inserted this 3. This value 3. The first time the queue was null, means there was no element in the queue was empty, right? So whenever according to the algorithm, whenever we want to insert an element in the queue in queue, we have to check whether the queue is full or not. If it is full, then we will not get any scope to add any element in the queue, right? If not, then we will go for adding. What you have to do? We have to adjust the rear value, and front is initialized 0, so we don't have to think about the front anymore. So this is exactly what we have done, or we implemented this in code here. Insert. What we are checking in insert? See this. Yeah. Insert. So in data, here data holds the 5. This 5 first time. Insert 3. Insert 3. This for this statement only, right? The moment this will be executed with the 3, we have called the function with the value 3. You know the signature of the function, it returns nothing. That's why it was void here. It was insert void, and we have passed a value of integer type. So it is an integer type. Got it? This way, the number of arguments we will be passing, we will put a comma. We will write all that values, putting comma in between, right? So we can pass more than one element also as and when required. Here only we require only want to pass only one element, that is 3, right? So here that 3 is caught by this data. Data holds the 3 is called by value. Okay. Now we are checking whether it is full. If not full, I mean it is true. It is not full, then we will go for adding. What we will do? Then again we will adjust this real value. But before adjusting, we will check whether that all the elements, whether our entire queue is filled with all the elements. If it is filled with all the elements, then this will be true. You know that maximum number of elements we can put here in our example 6, because we have taken the maximum number, the max as 6. The maximum number, what the value rear will be having for the last element. For the last element, starting with 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, another element we can insert 5 items. So if we already inserted 6 elements, we'll adding here after this. After we insert this, the queue will be full. Filled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But the rear will have the value 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After this element is getting inserted, the value of the rear will be 5. So it is 6 minus 1, isn't it? So max minus 1, this is what we are checking here. Max minus 1. If it is true, then means the queue is full. Queue is filled up already. Queue is full or queue is filled up. Then if we want to do nothing to do anymore, we cannot insert any element, any more element here. So now rear, there is no point for the rear to point here, right? So rear will go here. We will means make the queue ready to add another element if requires. That's why this has been adjusted in this way in our code. If already it's filled up, then rear will have -1. Just it is a case with the beginning when there was no element, right? Because we cannot insert any more element in the queue, no? Fine. So this is an optional optional one. You can discard it, but I have put this one. Anyways, so if it is not full, then we will go for adding. So what we have to do according to the algorithm, rear is rear plus 1. First we have to, according to our pictorial representation, go here. Here. We will first always add the rear by plus 1, right? We will move rear here, then we will put the element in this position. So first we have to increment the value of rear by 1, right? Then in that position we will be storing the element we want to insert. This is what we have done here. So first we have incremented this rear. You know, you have done it pre-incrementation, post-implementation in C. All of you have done it, na? Pre-incrementation and post-incrementation. Have you heard
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
pre-implementation? Huh?
Sir.
You tell me.
Yes, sir.
I'm asking you one question. This is a question of the campus interview. Let me ask you. What is the difference between pre-incrementation and post-incrementation? Who will answer? Answer correctly. Now try to answer logically. Okay. Who will answer? What is the difference between post-incrementation and pre-incrementation? Like say, both the cases of A is 5, A plus plus will have after A plus plus, if we write A plus plus, then value of the A will be incremented by 1. So value of the A will have what? 6. Let me open and what? Say for this, let's say that let me increase the A is 5. Okay. Always we small letter regarding the convention of. Now if I write A plus plus, what value will be getting? What will be the value of A?
6.
If I write plus plus A,
So 5. 5,
5,
sir.
5. Who will
Sir,
answer?
the
Here
pre-increment,
also the value
pre-increment.
of the A will be incremented by 1. The value of the A will be 6 in both the cases. In both the cases.
Sir.
But what
Sir,
is the what is the
Sir,
difference between answer?
pre-incrementation এর আগে আমরা মানে
Hmm.
আগে থেকে 1টাকে অ্যাড করি আর
sir,
পোস্ট ইনক্রিমেশনে মানে ভ্যালুটা দেওয়ার পর আমরা কি বলে 1টা অ্যাসাইন হয়, মানে ভ্যালু অ্যাসাইন হওয়ার পর 1 এ হয়।
বাবা বোঝা গেল না। ধরো আমি ইন্টারভিউয়ার, ওকে, so I asked you one question. First of all, while when you attend campus interview, you have to be very specific so that that interviewer doesn't get any difficulty to understand your point. You are telling that here, in case of pre-implementation, first the value of the A is incremented.
increment.
Then what you said? Then someone do. Then
স্যার ফর pre-incremation,
hmm,
increment the value the
pre-implementation.
হ্যাঁ, তো এই ভ্যালুটা দেওয়ার আগে মানে 1টা হয়, মানে ভ্যারিয়েবল ভ্যালুটা দেওয়ার আগে ইনক্রিমেন্টটা আগে করানো হয়,
Sir, sir,
ইনক্রিমেন্টটা আগে করানো হয়।
Pritam.
sir, the story, the in pre-incrementation, first, if A is 5, then 6 is the value.
I'm not
So,
getting your audio clearly. Okay, you just try to make it clear. Pritam, try again. Try again, Pritam. Carry on.
sir, in pre-increment, the 6 is the original value. If A is 5,
Hmm.
A is defined as 5. Then if increment, then 6 is the value for what? Working parallel.
Hmm. Any anyone else will try to answer? Anyone else? Hello? Nobody else? I think all of you have heard this term, pre-implementation and post-implementation, honestly speaking, right? And you are also trying to explain this one. But this is not the way of explanation. Anybody else? Saurabh, Mriganko, Aritro, Amit, are you all present here?
Yes, sir.
You
Yes, sir.
present? Or you have just started this lecture and you have gone in other places? Hello? All of you are present?
Yes, sir.
And what about the
Yes, sir.
yes? What about the girls? What about the girls? Bhagyashree.
Yes, sir.
Yes. And
Sir, Raju sir.
Suchana. Suchana Das.
Yes, sir.
You are present. Tista.
Yes, sir.
So want to try to answer? What is the difference? Simple question. What is the difference between why I'm asking you? This is a very important question in campus interview and very basic question. And I'm telling you, 95% of students fail to answer this one correctly. First, you have to think why this easiest question is being asked by the interviewer, because they know all the students know this, but very few of the students know correctly or can explain correctly. They want you to explain anything in properly. You know so many things. This is the problem with the campus, and we have to because see, in my real life experience, I had to play the role of interviewer when I was there in TCS, right? I went there in your Voldia or any so many engineering colleges, like say 2 years. I had to take the responsibility to be an interviewer on behalf of TCS. Anyways, so the what we want, that you have to understand, right? What we want, what the interview wants, that you know so many things, but are you able to represent yourself in that way? Because you have to be a productive resource person for the company. They will not give you the salary just like that, right? So they will so that you can earn some value, you can add some value to the company. Actually, substantial value you have to add. So you have to interact with the clients, right? So according to the client's mentality, according to the client's psychology, you have to pursue them to get a deal, to get a project. When he will be a senior, he will hold a senior position in your company, right? So they want that what already what means means what are you means to some what extent you are already ready, so that they will not put that much effort to prepare yourself, right? Got it? So simply, whenever you will be asked this kind of question, you will just ask a pen, or you have the pen, will have the pen, a letter pad, right? So pictorial representation is the best one in comparison to verbal representation. Whenever you will be asked this one, you will not say anything. Just ask for a paper, right, to write. You will just, with the example, you will understand. This one, right? Another variable x is a plus plus. Or y is plus plus a. Only in these cases, you can defer the pre-implementation or post-implementation. Otherwise, if it is not there, There is no difference between A plus plus or plus plus A. There is no difference. In this both the cases, the value of the A will be incremented by 1. Means eventually value of the after this value of the A will have 6, or if you delete this one, if you write this, then also after this statement processed, the value of the A will be 6 in both the cases, right? But only when you will write this one here. Now you can explain that here value of the A will be 6 and value of the X will be 5. First, value of the A, in case of post incrementation, value of the A will be assigned to X, means X gets 5, then value of the A will be incremented by 1, means it will become 6. But had it been this, here, first value of the A will be incremented by 1, 6. Then value of the ultimate after it's being incremented, that result, that value of the A will be assigned to X. So X will have the value 6. Got it? In earlier case, in both the cases, A got 6. Got it? But in earlier case, in case of post incrementation, value of the X will have 5. And here in this case, value of the X will have 6. So answer is that there is no difference between A plus plus or plus plus A, or pre-incrementation or post-incrementation, if it is not associated with any another variable. If it is only associated with itself, then there is no difference between pre-incrementation or post-incrementation. But when it is associated with some another variable, then it differs. Then the difference is reflected. Otherwise, no. See, you can see now in many books, you can see the for loop. For loop. Someone writes this, say that A is 0, let's say. A is 0. Um, condition, let's say A greater than any condition, right? I am putting an arbitrary condition. A greater than 10 or 8 less than 10, whatever you want to put. This one, A less than 10, A plus plus, right? For loop. Then body of the loop is getting defined, right? Whatever you write here, value, right? We have seen this one, na? This kind of code for the for loop. But in sometimes you can also notice that in place A plus plus, you can also notice that there is written plus plus A. Plus plus A. So basically there is no difference when, because here this statement, this value of this variable A is not associated with any another variable. Right? So in case plus plus A or A plus plus A plus plus has the same meaning. Understood? Understood? Hello? Got it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So someone
Yes,
of
sir.
you, I know someone of you know this, but you didn't represent properly. That Pritam started saying that Samarandu started, I know Samarandu Pritam, you know this. You told me, na, where we are assigned the value of A to some, first, in case of post implementation, that assignment actually happens later on this way. But assignment with some another variable, so association with some another variable. So you will tell me, na? So is it a good way to represent it pictorially, to writing by writing? So whatever is difficult to explain verbally, you have to take the help of writing. right? Got it? All of you clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So this is the way you have to study. Okay. Anyways, another question I can ask you, if I keep on asking, on discussing the questions of campus interview, the 5 to 6 classes will be over, right? So we will go apart, to means out of the discussion which we started with. Anyways, I will keep, I think, after the 50% syllabus or 60% syllabus is covered, I will explain one, or I will take 1 or 2 classes where I will discuss only what are the probable questions you will get at the time of campus interview. I think it's very important for you, right? Do you all of you agree? All
Yes,
of
sir.
you agree with this?
Yes, sir.
No response from the others.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
It is
sir.
very fruitful for you, right? I know
Yes, sir.
that you can download so many material from this net, that what the TCS ask, what are the questions from the TCS, we grow, whatever in the IT industry. But it is not that you will always get it by heart. You have to know how to represent this one, right? So from my real life experience, I always want to explain the students how to represent this one. It may so happen that you don't have that much knowledge, but through representation, you will crack the, you will be able to crack the interview. I have seen so many persons, and they also know that they are not the foolish person, right? Those who are sitting in front of you as interviewer, they're not the foolish person. They know this student don't doesn't have that much knowledge, but I can prepare the student because he is smart enough for the representation. He is clever enough. He is very daring enough, but smart in the positive sense. Not your dress up, not your that you have wearing these or these a tattoo have made. Not that. Okay. So technically you have to be smart enough, right? Okay. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes. Sir.
At least respond me, right? Otherwise, if you keep always mom, na, so I will not be motivated to take your class. You have to be interactive with me. Huh? Okay. So feel free. Okay. Anyways, because this is a very interesting subject. If you take the subject in that way, and you will be able to build your career in IT industry, which is very, very, what to say, lucrative and prestigious, whatever you say. I'm not comparing with the other, but very few of the posts where you can get a scope to work on that. This your parent women stream, right? Very few of the posts are left. Anyways, let us go back to the discussion. So here, in this way, first what we are doing, we are incrementing the value of that. This pre-incrementation, what happens is associated with this int array, right? So first, the value of the rear will be incremented by 1. Then with that, on that position, this data will be stored according to value of the rear is first gets incremented, then here the position, the that particular data is inserted. So instead of writing this one, you can also split this statement into 2 statements. One that is rear equal to rear plus 1. Then this int array int a r a y here, then equal to data. So instead of writing this one, if you don't write this one, you have to write these 2 statements. This is an alternative way. Got it? So I have put these 2 statements in a single statement because this is the industry oriented pattern. If you write this one, the persons who will check your program will consider you as a novice one, right? So this is the industrial style you have to run in. So don't, you have to learn also the industrial pattern of writing a code. Got it? Okay. So this is
Yes,
the,
sir.
here see, if you write plus plus item count or item count plus plus, it doesn't matter. In both the cases, the item count will be incremented by 1. Here, as I told you, that item count always counts the number of items present in the queue. Whenever you are inserting an element, you have to increment the value of item count by 1, isn't it? Okay. So this is the way, one by one I am inserting these 3, 5, 9, 1 and 12. Got it? Okay. And to
Yes, sir.
insert here, I have checked whether it is full or not. So is full another function, our function. So what we have write in is full, say when item count, here item count reaches to the value max, we can maximum, we can put maximum number of element is 6. So when item count reaches the value 6, we can say that queue is full. Got it? Here max 6, max 6, 6. So 6 number of elements is there present, then means item count will hold the value 6. Then we can claim that the queue is full. This is what we are checking with the item count variable. If item count is equal to 6 max, then return true, means the queue is full. Else return false, means queue is not full. Then here, while inserting the element, we have checked if the queue is not full, then we will insert the element. Okay, got it? So after these some elements got inserted, if this is a pictorial representation. After we insert 15 here up to this 412, then another element has been inserted in the position, last position, that is fifth. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 elements. So last position will be 5 because it starts from 0. I repeat. So 15 has been inserted here and the last position. So rear will have the value 5 and front will have the value 0. Okay. After getting the 515 inserted in the queue. Okay, and is full returns just a display that queue is full. Is here if is full. Here what we are checking. We want to write that if the queue is full, we will display a message. So again we are calling the function is full. If it is true, then queue is full. Okay. Then remove data. So if I want to remove data from the queue, here presently which value will be removed? 3. I told you that when this first in first out, to remove any data from the queue means DQ, right? DQ to remove. What will do? We will always adjust the value of the front. From the front positions, the element will be removed, right? First in first out. So here we will be changing the value of front. Okay, in case of addition, we always change the value of rear, but in case of deletion, we always will change the value of front, right? We will first, what we will do? We will first delete the, will first take out the element from the queue, then we will change the value of front. So here, not post incrementation will happen. Got it? Post incrementation, not pre incrementation. So let's, in case of remove data, what we are doing? In case of remove data, this is our function, remove data, post incrementation. So first we have to access the data from the front position, and that data we will store in another variable in data. Got it? Then we are actually incrementing the value of front. After we remove the data and store it in another temporary variable, then we are incrementing the value of front. Then we are moving the front. After we remove the data from the front, we are actually changing the value of front. Got it? This is what we have written here. So it is called post incrementation. But here in case of insertion, pre incrementation over here was there. In case of deletion, post incrementation of front will be there, right? You don't have to take it by heart, right? If you just concentrate on the pictorial representation, automatically you will be able to remind, right? Okay, so this is
Yes, sir.
for to remove the data. See, if the front is max, means uh, means to continue after all the elements is removed, after all the elements are removed, at times front will come here. After that also, if you want to we want to remove the data, front will have the value here, right? So the queue is empty, so there is no data left to be removed. That also we have to put a check here to remove data. Item count, always item count. Item count here, that item count was incremented by 1 always, but here item count will be deducted by 1 always, right? So here we will be calling remove data only we satisfy this one, if it is not empty. Got it? If it is not empty, then we will try to remove the data. If it is empty, we will not try. So there is a for loop, while loop. This while loop will be continued till all the elements are removed from the queue. Always this condition will be checked, and what we have written in this function is empty. So go to the is empty function. Is empty. If the item count is 0, we are decrementing the item count by 1 now always when we are removing the data. So at times item count will have what value? 0, isn't it? When there is no element. So if item count is 0, return true, means it is empty, otherwise false. So after this we check the condition, we are actually going to remove the data, and we are just printing that data which is stored here, right? Because remove data always returns the data which we are removing. Got it? Okay, so this is
Yes,
the,
sir.
so let me execute this one. Okay, compile and
Okay, sir.
see.
Okay, sir.
Element remove 3. First we remove 3 here. We remove 3. Remove data. Remove 3. Remove 3 element of the font. Now index 5 at the index is 5 4 3 2 1 0. This is the index, and 5 here. This representation. You just check it out here. 5 4 3 2 1 0. 5 4 3 2 1 0. Right, in 0th position, the 15 was there, but 1 here, 16, we added 16 here also. What to say here, after this, after 16 also we inserted this 17 and 18, right? 17 and 18, got it? Hello, after
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
we removed some data, and again we inserted 16 17 18. So this is the uh, this means what to say, the last position, means last status, the latest version, which after completion, after execute, after the code is executed entirely. So this is, they will get, this is the status of the queue. After all the elements is inserted and some elements we have removed here, remove data, right? We have removed data. Remove data means what? From the front value it will be removed. So 3 has been removed. So element removed 3. So element at front currently is 5. So this will be our current element, right? Front element. Got it? So this we got this picture. So after removing this one, we again inserted 16. Still one element, 2 elements are there. We could have inserted. Insert 17. Okay, and insert 18, but here it was already full. As queue is full, that's why you can check that the last element we got from the queue is 16. 17 and 18 we tried to insert, but as queue is full, element will not be inserted. That's why we cannot see these 2 elements 17 and 18, because already the 6 elements we have inserted. So these 17 and 18 has not been inserted here. Got it? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this is the uh, overall explanation of the code of the queue. I will be giving you the material. You will try to have a dry run. Dry run means this what I explained. In your copy, you will write each and every statement. You will write entire code. Not that from this computer you will be reading. It's very bad practice. The good practice is that you will write in your copy, okay, with a pen and a piece of paper. Then you will try to understand the implication of each and every statement. Sequential, logical sequence. If you are able to track the logical sequence of the code, then you will understand entirely. And this is called the dry run. Okay. And what the computer runs is called soft run. Means what we are doing here. Okay. Got it? So any question? Any question from you?
No, sir. Understood, sir.
Okay, if you have any question, if I repeat that if you have a difficulty to understand, then we can discuss in the next class also. Right? But you are getting entire week, you just study all this. As I told you, the prerequisite knowledge what that is that from function, array, and what I said, uh, function, array, and some looping. If you go through, it will be good for you to understand the code. What I'll do that for CS201, I have so many video materials, right? So I can send you in the classroom also, which will help you to understand or to recapitulate quickly those features of C. That's another important feature is structure. We are always using structure, na? And queue, stack. When we will be handling with the structure is when we will enter the so many heterogeneous types of value, int, float, char. If we want to keep it in a single record, so it will look like a structure. So structure is another important chapter you have to study. So I can do one thing, I can send you some video material from structure, array and function. It is already there channel. So I will select the necessary uh, topics, lectures, and I will send it to your classroom as prerequisite knowledge of data structure. If you just watch those video, I think you very easily you can recapitulate that concept what you have studied in CS201. You might have skipped any topic or any class. So this video will help you a lot. Okay.
Okay, sir.
What do you suggest?
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay, then let's call it an end. Okay, bye.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.